What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Man, we're back again with this stuff. Today is the day. We're just going to talk about it. We're going to talk about relationships. We're going to talk about how they fail. And we're going to talk about how you start to feel lost after a breakup and alone, and the type of ruminating thoughts that one experiences after a heartbreak, a death of a relationship. I'm gonna focus on a traditional style breakup in this video, although I know that there are a plethora of reasons why relationships end. We're gonna focus on more of the traditional. You know, the person just decides they don't want to do this anymore with you, and it leaves you how? It leaves you feeling how? That's what we're gonna talk about. So I just want to explore the woman's point of view and what we go through in women's health. I want to touch on breaking generational curses and what that looks like in my life, and the importance of focusing on your own goals and dreams, realigning your values, and truly seeing what's next. So let's jump in. So for me, I have a long history with pretty long, but not really long relationships. I have filed is a way to say it. I have 5 successful in getting married and successful in getting divorced relationships. So yes, that means I've been married and divorced 5 times. But I've also had some really amazing relationships in the middle of that in my 42 years on this planet. And I am currently going through a pretty big heartbreak. I have had visions of a happy, idealistic relationship with a partner who likes the same things and wants the same things. And I thought I really had it this time. I really thought I had it this time. And I think it's important that we are talking about expectations in relationships, as well as our own ability not to see maybe the partner for some of the red flags. That doesn't necessarily mean that person was toxic or narcissistic or a gaslighter or breadcrumbing and all these fun words we like to throw around right now in our social experiment psychology these days. I call it Pinterest psychology because it's words we're all using very flippantly, but we don't talk a lot about our own issues in those areas. And so I want to better understand my failed relationships this time around. There's this cloud, after a breakup, and the cloud lingers during that season, though. Like, what are you doing under the cloud? Grief has its way of developing uniquely for all of us. My grief is going to look different than your grief, and not to be judged at all, because the way we grieve is our own process coming from our own lens of life, what we've experienced and how we've hurt others. Maybe that's not just your person, but maybe how it affected your kids. Like me, I have my mom that lives with me and my son, my 19-year-old son. And for me, like, my decisions affect them. My decision to get into a relationship, my decision to move somebody in or they leave. But I can say that it's crucial for us to acknowledge the feelings that we're having in the season right after the breakup, because this is like a very pivotal time. It can make kind of or break the next few months or years of our lives. If we get stuck, it can be detrimental to our mental health. It can affect our families, our relationships we have going on, maybe at work, or maybe it affects our work in general and we end up unemployed and homeless. Like, anything can happen with how we process the end of the death of a relationship. So I want to talk about worth right now, because as I'm walking through this, I'm on like day 4 of the end of a relationship that started out differently for me this time. I don't know about you guys. Like, usually, like, I get on Facebook dating or I get on one of these apps and I'm like, oh, cool, cool, cool. And then I meet a guy and we're just like right in a relationship. Well, this last one wasn't like that. This last one met on a Facebook dating app, instant chemistry, all the things. But both of us were not looking for a relationship at the time. Now, there's a lot more to say about that. And looking for fun in a relationship, that's fine. It turned into love, and deep, intimate love between both of us from both sides. And so after about 5 months of just having fun and living our best lives and just being best friends and all that jazz, we really decided to give it a shot, a real like relationship shot. And honestly, it was great. In some parts, and in some parts, I really was making a lot of excuses for bad behavior. And it all comes down to my standards and my worth and my value. And this other person could say whatever they want to say about their perspective of the relationship and what they put up with me. Because I'm the furthest thing from perfect. And I'm the furthest thing from perfectly well-balanced communication and whatnot. But at the end of the day, the reason why the relationship ended was because of deceit. Not cheating per se, but the lack of truth about the relationship with another female. And for me, I'm very upfront and honest at the beginning of a relationship. This is what I want. This is what I expect. I was very clear with him about those things. Now, because I had set this expectation and because I believed him that he would be honest and that he would tell me if something was weird or if there was other interest, I was fully trusting, and in fact, trusting to the point of willing to move and relocate my entire life. I was supposed to move yesterday with him. The relationship ended 3 days before the move, abruptly after finding out that shady information. And my reaction was terrible. And I will own every ounce of that. I was immature and completely unhinged. But that's how I reacted. I learned a lot in that relationship, and that person allowed me to grow and heal my patience and the way I react to things so much. So for me to get to that level at this point was pretty intense. It was pretty severe, and it was a lot of deep pain. My worth was in question. Why was I not valuable enough to be honest with? And now I'm sitting here, alone, and an entire dream, a life was taken away in a moment. And while I made that choice for myself in that moment to end it, there was no fight to figure it out. And that part hurts, right? The part not being chosen hurts. I still am not okay. I'm not okay. I'm making this video in the moment because I think this is the part where it counts. So right now I am evaluating my values and my standards and what I am and not, what I am willing and not willing to put up with in my next relationship. And I say next relationship very boldly because I like relationships. I like having a partner. I don't like being single. I don't like the feeling of being single. I don't like the quietness. I have a deep desire for connection. And while I do struggle with some addiction in that area, I'm working on that stuff. But I know that I want a relationship. I want a healthy, happy relationship. And I want an adventure partner. There's a lot of things to see and do in this world, and I really don't want to do it alone. Even though I have great friends, and boy, oh boy, those friends, they really helped me figure out where I was lacking in seeing my value in this relationship. Acknowledging these feelings right now validates my humanity. It validates my fears. It validates my values. And I think that utilizing the resources that you have around you, like for me, I have friends. I reached out to my community and told them how I was feeling, and they took me under their wing, and it got me through the first few days. And now, yesterday, I needed something spiritual, and so I went back to a community at Celebrate Recovery that I hadn't been to for a year, and I was welcomed with open arms and love and community. And I was reminded that my value doesn't lie in what someone else thinks of me or whether or not I was enough for them. My value lies in am I enough for me? And I think that that is where I'm going to basically start my journey. Okay, so I want to focus on the women's health perspective of this. So right now I am very alone in the greater scheme of things. I'm not alone. I have friends and family and connection, but I don't have a partner at home. I don't have somebody taking up my time or, you know, distracting me from like goals and like going to the gym or working out at home or eating healthy because I can't afford to support us both. I know that there are a few things that I can focus on to make myself both feel better internally and externally. And then spiritually also. Like internal also includes spiritual, but I'm saying internally, like what am I putting in my body? I'm getting over a cold right now. You can probably hear that in my voice. But what am I putting in that will help me fight the good fight out here? And so right now I'm focused on, you know, trying to eat a very like antioxidant rich diet, lots of fish and kiwi and orange and blueberries and spinach. And I'm trying to eat like very mindful of what my body needs right now, and foods that help with like mood and balance. I don't do supplements. Supplements always make me sick for some reason. So I'm just focused on nutrition, getting as much nutrient density as possible out of everything I can do. Also being more physical. So even while I was not feeling well, I knew the first couple days I would go crazy if I stayed at home. Like there was no way. So I got out. I rode my motorcycle and I danced all night with my girls, and I went out to dinner and had, you know, healthy versions of my favorite like sushi and stuff. And then at home, I'm laying on the ground because I cleaned my entire house. Out of pure, like, I needed to for my mental health. And that really helped me, like really, really, really helped me. Cleaning a space after a breakup is one of the most amazing therapies you can do for yourself. Putting things back in order, or remodeling the area and creating a new space that doesn't just feel like him or her. That has been super duper duper helpful. Mindfulness for me is all about prayer. It's all about connecting with my source of creation. And my dog is just unhinged right now. He's just on a roll. Mom's busy. I can do whatever I want. And so being mindful of my moments especially when I'm in my head and I'm feeling less than my situation and feeling like, why couldn't this work out? I really wanted it to work out. It was very healthy for very long, for most of it. I was very happy in this relationship. And so for me to not just obsessively think about it, I got to get it out of my head. So I have, journals. I keep a journal and I write down exactly what I'm feeling, free form, no stopping, no erasing, or I write a poem, or I record a video, or whatever. I have to get it out of me. That's the point. Get it out of me. So these practices can help really center my thoughts, and getting moving really helps release my endorphins. And these are the things that I have found to be the most helpful for me. Also, it sets a really good foundation for the journey ahead. If I want to be a healthy, mobile, adventurous person in my coming years, I have to make decisions now that are going to catapult me into that life, into that person. I mean, I'm not getting any younger here, so we got stuff we got to do. So yeah, I think that's really, really important on the physical level. But everything isn't just about the here and now. There's also a past involved. Not only have I been married 5 times, but I come from a long line of single women after 40. And I really wanted to look at that a little deeper. And I'm not done looking at it. Don't get me wrong. There's going to be more videos about this because this is important stuff. We need to talk about looking at our past and the stuff that runs in us, this cellular memory, this somatic energy, this generational curse, I'm going to call it. There's also generational blessings. And so for me right now, I'm taking a deep dive into what has happened with all the women in my family at around 40 years old. It's either a super bad divorce where they were cheated on, or with my mom, a super bad divorce when her husband became violent. And now me, I just can't seem to keep a relationship going more than 3 years, and I'm 42. Like this is as young as I'm ever gonna be, y'all. Like this is it. And right now I want to get out of a cycle, right? A cycle of unhealthy relationships. I have the top tier best friends, top tier women in my life, top tier women in my community. But I somehow pick, I don't want to be rude, but I don't pick top tier men. Let's just say it like that. And I think even my ex would agree with that. He would always say like, well, I don't understand why you're with me. And I should have fucking listened to that, because at the end of the day, he was telling me something I needed to know, but I wasn't willing to hear it because I didn't want to let him go. And there it is, folks. Men always tell us what we need to hear, but some of us don't listen. And my ex told me my value was greater. My calling was higher. He was not going to live up to what I was already doing in my life. And that doesn't mean he's a bad person. It just means we weren't operating on the same level. The plane I'm on, was just different than his, and he's 10 years younger than me, and that was fine. Like that was great. It was perfect in so many areas, but I needed to identify patterns in my life that were creating this constant uprising of issues in relationships. And now I am going to learn how to set boundaries. I'm going to create a list for myself in my handy dandy notebook, and I'm going to create a standard for myself, but I have to start practicing that standard with myself. And so that is going to be the next turn of events here. I'm going to start doing a 12-step with my Celebrate Recovery family, because there are some deep-seated issues I need to work on. I want to release any of those cycles of unhealthy relationships and figure out really how to break free from that. So there's going to be a lot of work to do. It's not all about me either, though. Like I have children I've produced from this. And so I want to break it also for them. And so that is something that we're going to go on that journey with. And I'm going to focus a lot of that on this channel. On top of my adventures, riding motorcycles and going on trips and doing all that stuff, I want to hone in on what I'm doing now, how that's going to have a ripple effect into the lives of my children. My daughter is suffering in her relationships at 25. And the apple does not fall far from the tree. And I want to explore how we can change that together. So we'll be doing some kind of witchy stuff. Yes, I'm a Christian, but I'm a witchy Christian. I utilize the energy of good, and I utilize the power of the angels. And I fully believe in cord cutting ceremonies, and I believe in ceremonial things because I think it's a defining moment for us. And so I want to take back my virtue and my value, and I want to take back anything I've lost, and I want to gain new empowerment. And so come along the ride or something. I don't know, like just hang out. It's gonna be great. Let's focus on some goals and dreams, and let's get into it together. I have an idea. Let's do a vision board together one day. I have saved some things on Pinterest that I would like to use. And so let's get focused on the future and work through the past so that the future, we're not just dragging it along with us anymore. Does that sound good? It sounds good to me. I just want to say that I appreciate anybody watching because it helps me know that I'm not alone. So comment down below what you're struggling with. Tell me how I can pray for you. Tell me how I can ask the angels what's going on. I would be happy to do that. But your dreams matter. Your dreams matter. And this is our time to shine. So let's shine. And I just really appreciate your participation in your life, in the universe, in this world. I got an eyelash trying to attack me right now, or maybe a dog hair. That could be too. But I appreciate you joining me to break these generational, emotional, whatever issues. And I'm just hoping that you will share your goals for this next chapter with me down below. Like, subscribe, hang out with me. Let's start doing this on a weekly basis. And I just look forward to meeting you and seeing you out here in this beautiful world. Take care.